Okay guys, we're going to go ahead and show you how to adjust the tilt on your DX8 for your gimbal. We're going to need to have the NASA software. You're going to have a PC to be able to see what this is doing, and we're going to need to plug it into the computer, and then we're going to be able to see what each one of these functions is doing. I'm going to go ahead and change this so that this is my tilt right here. Top position is going to be forward, bottom position is going to be almost all the way pointing straight down, middle position will be halfway between those two. So a couple things that you need to know is the radio here. This is not only a scroll, but it's also a button. So if you push it and hold it down, or not hold it down, but if you push it, it's just a button. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plug in my NASA system into my computer. I've already downloaded the software from djiinnovations.com, and you can download that and the driver. I'm going to go ahead and attach my small 800 milliamp, or doesn't really matter, just my small battery with the JTS connectors. And I'm going to turn on my radio. So now I should be able to move these things around. Take note, my props are off, so if anything does spin up, it's going to be all right. So we're getting throttle, we're getting rudder, we're getting aileron, elevator. My switches are showing up here, they're working. So this is my return to home, so no matter which mode I'm in, it's going into a fail-safe mode. So it's going to go ahead and do the fail-safe. This is one mode that people really like to have, so we're going to go ahead and keep that. You could also adjust your knob if you wanted to change your knob to do your tilt. It's just a little harder to tell exactly where it is, especially when you can't see the camera very well. So we know exactly if we do it this way that this position's exactly where we want it and that position's exactly where we want it. And it's a real nice smooth transition in between them. So, all right, we're going to get into the radio real quick. First thing, you're going to turn your radio off. And we're going to go ahead and push the button in and hold it and turn the radio back on. And we're going to go down here to switch select. And basically what I want to do is I want to reverse these two switches. So I want AUX3 to be up here and AUX2 to be down here. In order to change these, you have to deactivate this one. So now I can go down here, change that to 2 instead of 3. So, and basically just by scrolling, you'll be able to say inactive or deactive. So now my flap switch, which is this switch here, is now inactive, which is going to be set as auxiliary 3. So now we're going to go back up to the flap switch and set that to AUX3. So if they're both tuned in, like let's say I want to go in here and I want to change it, you can see as I'm scrolling through there's nothing left. So you have to deactivate one to reactivate another. So this is how you want it to look. So you want that top flap one to be AUX3 and then the bottom one to be AUX2. We're going to go ahead and scroll back out to where it says list, and we're done with that portion of it. We're going to go to the main screen, and that's basically going to reset you, and it's going to take you back out to the main menu. Now if we push the button again, that's going to take us into this menu that's going to be the function list. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here to the function list, and I want to find my mixing channel. And right now I have my mix 1. Let's go down here, change that to 1. You can see this is how we have 1 set up. We have a 54% change here, and we have mix 3 mixing with gear. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change this to mix 2 now because we've changed it. So it does put me into failsafe right now. You can just leave that 54% just like that. That's working. So now no matter which mode I'm in here, now this is working as that, and now this is doing nothing. So we're not going to have the course lock, home lock anymore, but I never use that, so it doesn't really matter. So this is what you want this to look like. AUX2 and the gear are mixing. Negative 54 is going to work great. Once you've designated that, click that, you're going to scroll back up to list. When you get out of that, it's going to save that for you. So that's all we have to do as far as the programming in the radios. It's really not that difficult. You can rewind this a million times if you need to go back and see how I did it. Now we're back into the main menu here. We have everything set up. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plug in our gimbal. We have this wire here, which is the accessory wire, and that's going to plug into our receiver. Since we've changed our receiver now so that AUX3 is no longer the mixing channel, we can actually plug into the AUX3 So on here you have all of your different channels. AUX3 is going to be on the top. I'm going to just do this really raw so we can see what's going on, but you're going to want to tuck these wires up through here when you do this. The white wire is going to be the negative side, so you want to put that on the same side as the brown. And you will see that. So we'll take a big battery like this. I've plugged my gimbal into the power harness on the XP2, and I'm going to plug this in. Again, I have my props off so that there won't be any problems. Okay, so now what we're going to do is you can see that this is changing where the position of the gimbal is sitting as I flip through these. So that's looking pretty good. That's about where I want that to sit at its end point anyway. So middle point, it's not very good, and I don't want it facing up because nobody's going to want to see that shot. So we're going to go back into our menu here. We're going to scroll down to where it says, oops, servo setup. I'm going to go down to AUX3, whoops, for the travel on this. I'm going to go ahead, because I'm not getting the position I want here. It's wanting to point up more. So I'm going to go, even at 0, it's still kind of pointing upwards. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here to where, so you can see it start coming down now as we change that value. So you could set that sub trim so that it's, as you do that, you can see it's moving it down, and it wouldn't do that before. So this is actually just kind of trimming it out. We're going to go back here to travel again. We have one set at 0. We have the other set at 100. And that looks like it's doing the trick. So that's pretty much what I want it to do. So in the up position, it's going to be about 8 degrees, and as you see at 0 it was kind of pointing backwards. So I went into the sub trim, which is up here. You just go sub trim, click that. You can see I set that to -64, and as I scroll through this I can really tune it in like really where I want it, where I couldn't do that. I couldn't do like a negative value in the travel. So we've done that. Reverse speed travel again, just double checking, make sure everything's working. So that's going to be down, that's looking good, that's going to be up, and then in the middle position it's going to kind of, it's kind of going to stay where 1 is, but that's where we want it to be. So I know no matter what I'm doing when I'm shooting, that all the way down it's going to be facing down, all the way up is going to be right where I want it as far as that 8 degree kind of down. Looking back at all this, all of my fail-safe is working. The only thing that we've done is we've disabled this switch so that we're not getting the course lock home lock. And that is how you do that. That's the way I think that everybody should set it up, and you guys have fun.